What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video preview. Today we are going to talk about another Enterbay figure, the reissue of Derrick Rose. Man, Enterbay's running out of ideas here. They got to tap into the good old reissue here, but yeah, we're still going to talk about it. I do have this figure, and if you are interested in this, head over to bigbadtoystore.com. I'll put the link down below. So there's no way I'm going to get this because I still do have the Derrick Rose from back in the day. I love it. I would say this. If you're a fan of Derrick Rose, and I know the Derrick Rose when I bought this is different from the Derrick Rose that we do have now. He now plays in Memphis, a shell of himself, right? Not the youngest MVP that we used to love. However, that happened. This Derrick Rose, this version of Derrick Rose happened. And if you're a fan of the guy, which I am, I'm from Chicago. He's from Chicago. He played for my, from the love of my heart team, the Chicago Bulls. This is something that would never, ever leave my collection. Him and Jordan and Rodman, that's solidified. I'll sell everything, if I had to, but keep those four guys in my collection. That's how much affinity I do have with the Chicago Bulls. And that's fandom right there. That has nothing to do with, with how the figure looks like, or it's a great figure, or, what the value is. Has nothing to do with that, any of that. It's just my fandom. That's what I grew up watching. Not Derrick Rose. I'm already grown when I started watching Derrick Rose. But the memories that I do have. Now, as a figure, if you don't have that, you don't live in Chicago, you're not a Bulls fan, objectively speaking, this is the best figure that Enterbay has ever produced. Now, we'll see about the new LeBron James. That looks pretty strong. But I would say, currently in their lineup, the head sculpt is spot on. Once you hold it in hand, you would see what I'm talking about, because he does have texture in his face, the pores, some scars on his face. It is amazing. It is amazing. Somebody pointed out, I think it's let me see here on Instagram, that he is a little darker. Mark says he's a little darker. Maybe, we don't know till we get him in hand. The one that I do have, he's more light, because I've seen him in person. Got him up close. He's he's lighter. The tattoos are great. He obviously has more tattoos now, but again, this is 2010 version of Derrick Rose, so totally different. Amazing figure. The two head sculpts. The other one is, and this is what I've been asking for Enterbay to replicate nowadays. Give us a stoic head sculpt like this, which is amazing, by the way, and this is Derrick Rose, and then give us an action head sculpt, because all of your figures are pretty much carbon copy of one another. The only thing different is the uniform. You give us the same hands, the same body pretty much for every single one. I think only Shaq has a different body. You just change the skin tone and the tattoos, but everything else, pretty much is carbon copy. At least give us two head sculpts, because that's what you used to do. You did it with Blake Griffin, you did it with Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Derrick Rose. All the older ones do have a second head sculpt. That is the least you can do with a price point that you're asking and the amount of accessories that you're giving. Two head sculpts. Dwayne Wade, give him two head sculpts. I think they teased him. This is great. This is a great looking figure. I would argue that this is, again, the best out of this, just their NBA lineup. I don't know about their movie lineup. I'm not well versed into that. I don't think I've ever owned an Enterbay not NBA figure. But this is better. I'm looking at my collection right now. He is better than Rodman. Rodman has a smaller head. Better than Pippen for sure. Jordan, that's arguably, you can make an argument there, but Jordan only came up with one head sculpt. So this has two. So he already has a leg up on that. Looking at Steph Curry, not even close. Giannis looks like Jimmy Butler. The Michael Jordan I do have. Blake Griffin is pretty good, but the second head sculpt is kind of, even the first head sculpt is kind of, iffy. Dirk is kind of iffy as well. Kobe looks great. Maybe Kobe V2 Kobe because the smiling head sculpt is great. But the 2-pack Kobe is great too. But we can make an argument for Kobe. But I would still go with Derrick Rose. I think the texture that they used and the uniform is a little bit more modern compared to the V2 Kobe. So I would still, just as a figure, I'm not talking about him being a better player because we obviously that's not the case. As a figure alone, Derrick Rose, the best NBA figure that Enterbay has ever produced. Now, fast forward now, this is not 2010 anymore. I would even argue, right? Like Derrick Rose, even if you're not a fan, you can't hate on the guy. It's hard to hate on the guy. Whether you're a Bulls fan or not, I think he's one of the most likable players ever. Ever. Like everyone sympathized when he tore both of his ACLs. And, everyone felt bad. He's not, how should I say this? He's not in the same category as, one of those busts. Because he's not a bust. He won an MVP. You can't win an MVP and be a bust. Injuries derailed him. Same as Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill. It's just that he had a higher peak than any of the what ifs. Because the only what ifs with him is, can he continue his legacy, right? Can he win championships as being the guy? Obviously, that's going to continue as a what if. But individually, he achieved higher than any what ifs out there. Greg Oden, I don't know if maybe Greg Oden you can consider sort of a bust, but with him, Vince Carter's definitely not a bust. He's more of a what if. What if he didn't get injured? Would he be better than what he currently achieved, throughout his career? And Rose achieved the youngest MVP ever. No one can take that away from him unless Wemby wins the MVP this year or the following year. I think it was 21, Derek, when he won the MVP. So Wemby has 3 years or 2 years to achieve that. I don't know how old Wemby is. But yeah, just as a figure, the black compression shorts, they do stain. So that's a downside. And plus he got a tattoo on his leg. I pull it up, those knee pads as well, they do stain. So just, keep an eye on that. And the base do bend. So hopefully they fix that because they fixed that on the newer figures. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Are you going to pick this up or the Derrick Rose train has passed you? Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.